Hey everybody, welcome back to Unpinned Creative. Karen here, back today to show you something that I have been working on for the last few days, and it is the reason I have been absent for a few days, so I'm sorry about that, but I really wanted to get this finished. It's my intention that I will film in advance so that when I'm working on bigger projects like this I'll still be able to upload, but as yet I just haven't had the time, but that is my intention. So what I have today is what I am calling the Ultimate Paper Crafters gift box, and the reason I created it is because my family always asks me what I want for Christmas or birthdays or things like that, and no matter how much I say crafting stuff, they don't understand what that means. So I have created something that I would love to receive, and maybe you guys would too. This will be going into my shop on my website. The website is in the description below if you're interested, and I'm intending to make a few more. They'll all be different. Okay, so let's get started. This is the outside of it, and inside this airmail envelope I have some stamps. They're New Zealand stamps, vintage, and some vintage writing papers. I collect vintage writing paper as I find it, so there are 5 different sheets here. Some beautiful yellow and another beautiful yellow sheet. So they are all in the envelope on top. The closure is just a simple closure with some twine that hooks on here and pops off, and we have 2 pockets on the front which have some embossed die cut. Both sides are the same, so there are 3 little heart die cuts and a doily, small doily. That is a full-size doily, I've just folded it. So that is the front. The sides have some beautiful lace, and the back is just plain, covered in a gorgeous floral fabric. The bottom I have decoupaged with some tissue. So let's open her up. On the front we have some more beautiful lace. It's going to be difficult to show you. Here we go. So I'll go through it bit by bit with you if I can. Okay, so this box I found at a garage sale, and I saw these gorgeous wooden pieces, and I love them so much, and my son really loved them, and so I picked it up and figured that I'd work out what to do with it at a later date. Anyway, there was a website engraved and like a corporate logo engraved on the side. So I looked it up, and it it was obviously given as a corporate gift from a Chinese company. And I'm thinking it was probably in the 90s, maybe early 2000s. Anyway, I just loved the engraving and how this worked. So I grabbed it and then didn't know what to do with it, and figured this was the perfect thing. So the sides are covered in scrapbook paper, and then inside that just slides back like that. It's so cool. There is just a little collection of various bits and pieces. So in the front here we've got some paper clips, some brads. My mind stopped working for a minute. Some different brads and some little leaves, cool little things. And then in here, just some various scrappy bits of paper, perfect for adding to tags and journal pages and things like that. Some cards, and these bits I just included, they are book pages that have been gessoed and have texture on them. Really cool for making tags out of and decorating. So very plain and simple, and they just slide in there and you can shut the lid. I love it so much. How cool would that be, sitting on your desk with just your bits and pieces in it? And then in the bottom of there I have popped a little scrap pack. It just has a couple of trims, some lace and some bits of fabric and some coffee bean bags pieces, some vintage buttons. So these are also available in my $5 scrap packs on my website, if you just want this. So that just sits in there with this. And then on this side we have a bigger one with this engraving, same paper on the sides, and again we just have some scrappy bits of paper and card for adding to tags and things like that. In this middle section got some ink stained baking paper, some more paper scraps, a couple of bits of card and some vellum. So they're just little bits of pieces that are great for, as I said, adding to tags or backgrounds or just doing little bits and pieces with. And then the same again in the bottom. Just some scrappy paper, some dictionary, some tea bags, bits and pieces. Just the little bits that don't get much attention but add so much texture to a page. So that's that. Isn't that cool? And then in the bottom of this we just have some fabric pieces, a couple of squares of fabric and some bigger fabric pieces. They are all coffee themed images and they just fit in there. Okay, moving on to the top. In the top flap here we just have some music paper and some dot matrix printer paper. That's definitely vintage, it's very cool. And a couple of sheets of music paper. And then in this middle pocket here we have this pouch. So I'll pop this out of the way and show you what this looks like. So I'm going to show you now how to make this, and then I'll come back and show you the flip through. Alrighty, so to make this accordion envelope ephemera keeper, you're going to need 2 envelopes for the cover, and then 4, I'm going to use 4 for the inside. So these are just what I had in my stash. The colours are not perfect, but waste not, want not, which is one of my main mottos. They are the right size to go with these envelopes. The 4 on the inside need to be slightly smaller than the 2 outer ones. These ones are a little bit small and the colours are not great, but I will make it work. So the first thing I'm going to do is seal one of the envelopes at the opening. Alright, to do that I'm just going to grab my favourite book, and I'm sure there is a loose page in here somewhere that will work perfectly. There are these ones as well, but I kind of need a straight edge, and these ones are a bit raggedy. I'll just take that one. Yep, and I'm going to glue that down there. So I'm going to line up the edge of the page with the crease in the where the flap folds. I don't want it to go over that because I'm going to use that flap. I'll just tear off the edges. One of the reasons I chose this book, aside from the fact that it's my favourite book, is that the pages are very thin and I don't want to add too much bulk to this. So the next thing to do is join the 2 outer envelopes, and I'm going to do that by stacking them like this. So you have the top of this envelope and the top of that envelope both to the right side, and I'm going to join this flap to this envelope. I love using envelopes for journals because I have so many of them. You pick them up everywhere. I pick them up all the time at the op shop, and so I have a good stash of them, and then we still get quite a few in the mail with various things in them. So, and there's so many different things you can do with them. Okay, so we have that. That is the cover of our little ephemera notebook holder thingy. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is just take the very edge off of this envelope. So the one that I put the page on the back of, I'm just going to take the very edge off of it. There we go. So that will be a little pocket. I'll just grab my circle punch, just find it about the middle, because I never get things in the middle, so I'm trying here. And I'm just going to cut a little thumb hole there. Not too big, just enough that you can see. I think I'll make it a bit bigger. Okay, so that's that. The next thing I want to do, I'm going to pop that to the side now. The next thing I want to do is seal up the flaps of these ones. Okay, they're all sealed, and I want to now just take the very edge off. Okay, so I have chopped the top off of all of those, but what I should have done before I did that is covered them. So I'll do that now. I'm just going to do the same thing, cover them with a book page, with a piece of book page, but I really need straight edges on one side. I just want this edge to be really stuck fast, so I'm just using a stronger glue there, and in the middle. So I'm just going to do that to all sides of those inside envelopes. Okay, so I have now got all four of the inside envelopes covered in a book page, just because the colours were too random even for me. So and I like random, but I don't want to add too much bulk, so I just used those thinner antique pages from my favourite book. And now all I'm going to do is ink the tops and the sides. I'm not going to worry about the bottom because that bit won't be seen. Okay, so I have 4 inside envelopes done. So bringing back in the cover, which looks like this, I now need to decorate this cover. Actually, before I do that, I will glue these pages together. So making sure that all these pages are up the right way with the slits at the openings at the top, I am going to put a line of glue right down the center and join 2 pages together. Then same again. a line of glue down the center or thereabouts. You could measure it. I am not that accurate. And last one. So make sure you get them all lined up as best you can. And then what we have, hopefully, is our accordion pockets. Ta-da! So that is the inside of this. So I'm going to go away and decorate this, and I will come back and show you the finished project. Alrighty, let's get this little journal finished off. So I simply covered the cover with more book pages because I love the book pages so much, and they're mostly going to be hidden inside. That I thought that was a great solution, plus it leaves lots of room for decorating more later. So I put a wee bit of card and some fabric on the flap and a small piece of tea dyed fabric down the bottom. But let's get it finished off. So we have this, and it's so simple to do. We're just going to put a stripe of glue down the middle of that, get it centered on the page where we want it. Put another stripe of glue down this side. That's the back of those that centerpiece. Close the cover. We'll have to wait for it to dry. But there is our accordion folded folio. I don't know what to call it. How cool is it? I actually quite like the green now. And then I just made a really quick paper clip, hidden paper clip, whoops, to keep it closed. Quick and easy, and lots of room for decorating. Oh, actually what I'm going to do while I've got it here is I made some really strong coffee this morning in a saucer to do this. How cool is it? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and you'll see the other Karen with the rest of this video in a few minutes. Okay, so now you've seen how I put this together. This is just a paper clip that I made to keep it all together. Really simple, nothing too elaborate. So my thinking with this was that whoever takes it home can then add to it, can embellish this more, can embellish this more. It's sort of the base layout for you to start. I didn't want to, because personal, you know, what people like is so broad, I didn't want to give it one particular theme and go with all florals and things like that, so I wanted to keep it quite open for someone else to add their pretty stuff to. So this is not really about pretty stuff and focal points, it's more about the base layers, the background layers, for someone to put their own individual stamp onto. Okay, so we have this folio. So vintage book paper from my favourite antique book from the 1800s, and it's the Pictorial History of the World. I've had it for a long time. I got it in really poor condition, so it already had missing pages and pages ripped out, so I felt okay using it in my crafting, in case you were worried about that. And I have just created this envelope folio with it. So in the front pocket here we have some wallpaper and some more of those vintage book pages. And a wee window there so that you can put something pretty behind if you want to. In the first pocket we have some more airmail envelopes. Just a couple of paper bags and just some library pockets that you can decorate up. That is the first pocket. In the next pocket we have a serviette, some pieces of serviette. This is the same one that I used on the bottom of the case. A couple of Japanese postcard cards, some pattern paper, a vintage Winnie the Pooh book page, and a paper bag. If you can hear the buzzing in my room, I have two little bee visitors that have flown in the window and are busily flying around. And here I have some very vintage from early 1930s embroidery transfer paper, a piece of vintage wrapping paper. This does have a smell to it, I have to say, but there's just a small piece in there, and it's so cool to use in backgrounds of collages and things like that I have included it. And two more doilies. These are full size. These are bigger than the ones that are in the front pocket of the box. Here we go. And then in this last pocket I just have a couple of pockets. They're both the same, sewn edges, and you can slide a photo or a piece of scrapbook paper or something in each side, and a vintage card with a castle on it. And then in the last page, which also has an envelope so you can put pretty things in there, I have some more vintage book pages and another small piece of wallpaper. Actually, the vintage book pages in the front pocket, and this one, are from a medical book, medical encyclopedia from the 1800s, which is amazing. It has some interesting information which may or may not be appropriate today. So that's it. That's the ephemera folder, I guess you'd call it. And that just closes with the paper clip and fits in here. So there you go. That is my Ultimate Paper Crafters gift box. Just some bits and pieces that you can adapt to suit your own style and I really love it. I would love to get this for Christmas or something like this for Christmas. So thanks so much for joining me again, and I'll see you with another video very shortly. See you next time.